Hello everyone, this is the Captain Swan podcast number 29. I'm Serena, Savior Out on Tumblr, and the guys of the Captain Swan podcast are going to introduce themselves in the usual order that I wrote in the sidebar chat thing.
Am I the first one?
Yes.
Oh my god, I can't see it on my phone, that's why.
Oh, okay, you're first.
Okay, hi, I'm Jude. I'm Swan Stan on Tumblr.
I'm Lisa, and You Brought Me Home on Tumblr.
Hi, I'm Killian the Hero on Tumblr.
Hi, I'm Michelle, and I'm To the End of the World or Time on Tumblr.
Hi, I'm Ro, and I'm Ginny Jinxed Rita on Tumblr.
I'm Steph, and I'm Bookstore Romantic on Tumblr.
Okay, so Ro changes Tumblr name.
Yeah, I feel like every week somebody changes their name, and I'm really shocked because lately it has not been me. Like, aren't you proud of me? I've been like with the same Earl for 2 months now. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, you have been faithful.
I'm never gonna change mine. I'll tell you that.
It's a good one.
I have to change too. Well, that's why I used the custom Earl, because that way I can have a 100 Earl, but still keep my Killian the Hero.
Okay, so I think we should start immediately with the question, so then we can talk about the episodes and not be like last time. Since the time we just have one question, so we can just be quick about it. Hispanic87 on Tumblr asked, question for the next podcast. What do you think of the idea of Killian maybe being from Arendelle? I've seen this idea going around lately, and I would love it if it really does happen. I would love to learn more about Killian's past and where he comes from. What do you guys think? What do you think?
I don't want it.
I don't either.
Me
I
either.
want more of Killian with Mila and like pre-Mila piracy. And
Yes.
also
Yeah, I
his
agree.
king was supposed to be terrible, so I don't really want him to be from Arendelle.
That doesn't
Well, but that was
jive
100
with.
years ago.
I'm torn.
You know-
I'm literally torn. Like, I want him because it, like, in some sense it would make sense because he had an Earl urn that I know everyone has said it means nothing, but he had the same urn in the Jolly Roger that the Rebel had in the vault that endlessly contained Elsa. But at the same time, I don't kind of want him to be related to anyone. I don't want the Frozen cast to be related to anyone, so.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we're like
I
we're
want it,
over.
but I don't want it, but I want it, but I don't want it.
I'm just over of the soap opera of nonsense. Everybody's related to everybody.
Yes, over it.
Yes.
I'm okay with it being from Arendelle if he's not related to anybody.
The only way I want Killian to be connected to Arendelle is if it had something to do with who he traded the Jolly Roger to get the magic bean. That's the
It
only
would
way
make
I will
sense.
accept it.
It totally would make sense.
Okay, I can see that. I just feel bad for Henry.
He has a really fucked up life.
Poor
He's
kid.
related. Yeah, he's just related to anybody. He's probably gonna end up with the cousin.
I highly doubt that Elsa's father was responsible for what happened to Liam and all that, because that
Well,
doesn't
it wouldn't have
jive.
been her father. It would have been her great some odd grandfather.
There's
Because that
no
was
point
300
linking him
years
to
ago.
Arendelle anyways. If it's so
Yeah.
long ago, then there's no point linking him there.
Yeah, it was
It
300
grew
years
up.
ago.
It just reminded me to be King George's descendant. You know what I mean? I kept
Yeah,
on thinking,
George is enough of an asshole that it's probably
Like,
him.
I've always thought that he came from Yorkshire Kingdom. Like, that family was full of assholes.
yeah, yeah.
James was a total douche. I love him, but he was a total douche.
I love the shirt that you used. I like
It was a good shirt.
Hey,
like-
hey,
We need to get Hook in that shirt.
maybe Josh is gonna be wearing something like that in the future. We all saw him the other day.
Damn.
I mean, you guys can
We'll fill it out.
speculate- You guys can speculate however you want, but after seeing Liam's that buckle that was on Liam's satchel, it had the crown and then it had the buttercup flowers, which we all know to be a symbol of Charming's kingdom or Snow's kingdom. I'm pretty sure.
But it,
Pretty sure.
but I always thought that they kept George's sign. Because remember, Snow's kingdom is the one Regina had.
Yeah, but she didn't change any of the sigils. Those are all the same.
I always thought that the sigil they used was from King George's kingdom.
Yeah, so did I.
The flowers?
The flowers, I'm pretty sure the flowers are from George's kingdom.
Yeah, I agree. I think even James had them in his thing.
Because Charming wore that, didn't he? He wore that within his armor.
Yeah.
I think he did.
Yeah, it's like his crest part of it or whatever.
I suppose that would make sense. George is a douche, so
he's probably
down the
descended
line.
from douches.
Yeah.
Okay, so we answered this question, and
in record time.
Yeah.
Hold on, guys. Sorry.
Never mind.
And I think we should just start talking about the doctor, because otherwise we will get lost like last time. So
What about
yeah,
the crocodile? Are we not talking about crocodile?
Right. Yeah, the crocodile.
Serena, crocodile is kind of important. I don't know why.
I was thinking about the first episode they met, but yeah, we can talk about the crocodile.
Oh yeah, the crocodile first.
Yeah, because that is the episode where Hook is introduced.
Technically, Killian Jones is introduced.
Okay.
Yes, where Killian Jones is introduced.
Here's a question. I want to know everybody's experience on the crocodile, like the first watch.
I love him.
I was watching it with company. I couldn't be myself.
Oh.
I was alone.
I couldn't watch
and
it
I
twice.
loved him, and I freaked out. And I was like, this man I have chosen well.
Yes.
This is a great crack ship. It's a great crack ship in the making.
I got to. Well, actually, this is the episode where I started to ship it, because in the second scene he has on the Jolly Roger, when he challenges Rumpelstiltskin to the duel, he says, "A man unwilling to fight for what he wants deserves what he gets." And I was like, that is totally the dude Emma needs.
That was also the line for me that made me think this is perfect.
Yes, I was like,
Exactly.
yes, you are good. I like you.
Exactly. I was like, I can totally get on board with this. Please be in the current storyline. Please be in the current storyline.
Well, seeing as they made him a regular before that episode even aired, I think there was a pretty good chance of him being in the current storyline.
Like I said last week, the first scene he was in where they were in the pub and you couldn't really see him, but he was just kind of there and he was making fun of Rumple. I was like, oh, he's pretty. But
I love how everyone sees him and their first thought is, he's hot. Like, my mom was watching it ages ago, and the first time he sees it, she's like, oh, he's cute.
Honestly, I thought that the first time we saw the first still from that episode.
Yes.
It's from that tavern scene.
Still, I was like, this is good casting. I like this.
Yes.
I was like, yes, I approve of this Captain Hook, because I was waiting for that Captain Hook casting.
First trailer for me. The first trailer when it came out at the end of the I don't know what episode was that. Was it Lady of the Lake or something? I remember.
Yeah, Lady of the Lake.
And me and my mom were just looking at each other, and I just like, oh my god, he's hot.
Much better than Comic-Con.
I've seen the still, but I really didn't comprehend until Movement came around. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Now, I don't want y'all to think that I'm shallow, because I'm not. Okay, but
We're not. We have eyes.
Just a little bit.
but look, when they did that pan up shot from the feet to his face,
Oh God.
at that point I was like,
dirty thoughts,
I was
dirty
like,
thoughts.
okay, I'm fucked. But when he opened his mouth and words flowed forth, I was done. My world shifted. I was like,
Yeah.
Had
I mean, Charming.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Charming had been my favorite male character before that happened, and then Killian Jones happened, and it was all over.
And
Sorry,
then, I'm sorry,
Charming.
Charming, but there's a new man in my life.
That's exactly what Emma said.
But then, I was like you guys. I was like, please let him be in the story, please, 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 please. And then that last scene in episode 4, he was there, and I knew that he was going to be in the rest. I was like, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus.
I was like, he's with Cora. Oh
No,
my God,
he's with Cora, and you're like, oh, thank God, he's gonna meet Emma. Hallelujah.
Yes, I was, oh my God, he's not in the storybook. He's in the Enchanted Forest. Oh my God. It was
Just
bad.
my experience was, well, obviously different because
Really? It was different?
that girl ain't. This guy was different.
well, I think I wasn't really entirely sold on him until the last scene in, the past when he's like, yeah, and let's go to Neverland. It's like a big
my
fuck yeah
God.
moment.
Oh my God, that
moment he
smile
put-
when he says
the
they're going
moment
to
he puts
Neverland,
on the
I was
hook.
going to die.
The
Yeah,
moment
that
he
was
puts
awesome.
on the hook, it's still one of my favorite hook moments.
I
yeah,
think
that's
it's so ridiculous. He just got his hand cut off like 3 seconds before, and his idea is to put an hook on it, like not even go see a doctor or anything, and then
We had a doctor on board, okay, Serena? And he probably categorized the wound.
Like, there had to have been, like,
Sure,
an
but-
imaginary time lapse there, because there's
Yeah.
no way that he was
Yeah.
doing
Yeah, that's
that
what
right
I'm
after
thinking.
having his hand
Had
cut
to have
off.
been at least like a week where he was in bed trying to recover, because that pain, I can't even imagine the pain that he was probably in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Serena, your imagination is God.
It just
Yeah.
makes
Yeah,
for good TV.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised it didn't get infected.
He's Killian Jones. And it's
He-
like,
They
Driving.
kind of put like a called, I forgot what it's called, but if they heat it up on and made it into a dump, you can get infected, but if they knew how to do it correctly, sterilize it. It's freaking once upon a time, okay? They're gonna
Yeah.
seriously, Serena?
Well,
It was
I'm sure
fairy
they had
tale.
somebody
Let's move
on. I'm sure they had somebody on board who had just enough medical knowledge to stitch up,
Especially if
you know,
you can
sword
Oh.
wounds. But
I'm sure it got cauterized.
Especially if you consider the fact that
But
it used to be a royal vessel.
but
So there
that
was
didn't mean
obviously
that.
a captain. No, there
Yeah,
was
but that-
obviously someone with medical knowledge.
Usually
Yeah,
the
but
carpet.
there's a difference between having the medical knowledge and having the supplies that are necessary to get it done.
Yeah,
So they
but
probably had to improvise.
I'm telling you, they went down to the galley, cauterized it.
Exactly.
He
They took a
healed up
soup
and
ladle.
exactly. They shoved it in a fire. They cauterized his wound, and then he slapped the brace
Exactly.
on. That's what happened.
And it
Ow.
probably
Ding,
hurt.
ding,
Had a
ding. We
brace
answered your
lying
question.
I just think the great thing about Hook is, like, unlike Rumpel and Regina, there's no, like, dark magic that this guy hides behind. So he can't outlive Rumpel, so he does the next best thing and goes to this world where he knows he can't age.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
And I
it's
love
a stroke
that-
of
and I love
genius,
when-
really.
Honestly, I look like what that post that goes that you'll have to live long enough and then challenge accepted.
Can I go on a tangent and say that I'm super impressed they got him a fake hand that clicks in the same way his hook does? Because what are the chances of that happening?
I know.
Columns can, but they're just.
It's like after In the Name of the Brother, Emma goes to Dr. Whale and says, I want you to custom make a fake hand for him.
He probably has one.
Well, I'm in
Yeah, I think he had it.
He probably had one.
Remember? Is there another attachment you prefer?
He just keeps it in his gigantic pocket.
Yeah, but I mean, it
Yes.
makes
Yeah,
sense
probably.
if they were
He's
planning on
Mary
having
Poppins,
him.
okay? He's Killian Poppins. Now, we've solved the mystery. His mom is Mary Poppins.
No, he's a Time Lord and he has infinite pockets.
It makes sense that he would have it. I mean, if they were all along planning on having him go to New York to get Rumple, okay, I can buy that maybe the people there wouldn't care about his clothes, but they certainly would care about the mammoth-sized hook that he has for a hand.
Yeah.
Considered a weapon. So
Obviously, see Colin's injury in that freaking scene. Because you can see the stunt guy coming in, and then you can see him pushing Emma, and then you can see Colin just standing there delivering the monologue, and just like, he killed her and stab him, and it was the stunt guy that actually killed Rumple. you can actually see everything that's cut off. Because Colin was probably wearing a cast on the costume, or probably wearing a pair of jeans or something, and then like just delivering the monologue and just leave and sitting down somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sorry.
you know, the only reason the guy was even in that scene in the first place was because Colin couldn't bend down. And the guy had to bend down so he could reach Rumple.
I'm pretty sure that Colin now has a part in this contract that says, you are not allowed to go skiing or anything that can cause you permanent injury while filming.
No,
Adam,
once needs
Adam.
its hook.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think one of my favorite scenes in the Crocodile had to be when he first encounters Rumple. You know, when they first come back to the port town after like 10 years, because it wasn't just his looks that got me, and it wasn't just articulation and his looks. It was also his cockiness and his attitude and his swagger, you know.
Yeah.
He had the whole package.
Well, no, and
I'm always describing him as Killing Jones, the frat boy.
Yeah.
He acted like the frat boy. Everyone's like, oh my god, he's such a bully. I'm like, no, he's not. He is kind of a bully, but he's
You
not
know-
a villain. He's a frat boy.
you
But
know
at
who
the
he
same
reminded
time,
me
you
of?
knew in
Frat
that
boy.
scene he was lying about Mila being dead. Like, you knew before she even showed up, he was lying to protect her.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
and that I appreciated more than anything else. So you could tell that no matter what, he was going to do whatever it took to protect her,
Yes. And
including
remember,
fighting the Dark One in a sword fight that he couldn't hope to win.
yes, and that was when my creation was what of the red best of sex was.
But you know who Frat Boy Hook or Frat Boy Killian Jones reminds me of? And
Cappy?
this sounds well that too, but I was gonna say James Potter.
Oh, yes. Yes.
There's Era.
And I love James Potter. Sorry.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
he's
Long live James Potter and Sirius Black. Mostly Sirius Black, but yeah, James Potter.
James Potter. Anyone give me a high five?
High five.
yep.
And you know, I know there's no scene to prove this because they didn't do a lot of stuff between Mila and Hook, but I'm almost positive that in that evening before the fight, that there was probably some sort of argument between
Yes.
them. I can
Yeah.
guarantee it. I'm almost
head canon that.
There was probably a screaming match between them, her trying to tell him to leave it be and to just go, and him saying, no, don't go, you stay here, I'll deal, you know, blah, 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 back and forth and all this. He probably snuck out while she was asleep.
No, I don't think that's what happened.
No,
I don't think
they
she
were
knew.
screaming.
I don't think she knew until until she woke up and realized he was gone, and then got it out of the
Honestly,
crew,
I think
and
it
then
was
she went.
very much, but he didn't tell her that Rumpel was. I mean, like they did fight, but but she didn't know he was going to fight the Dark One. And then like maybe one of the crewmen told her like, "Oh no, he's gone. He's gone."
The look on her face kind of made me think, oh my god, she was like really shocked to see Rumple in that.
Yeah, I don't think she
Yeah.
knew what was going on.
Yeah.
She knew.
Didn't she have the bean to bribe Rumpel with her? So
Yeah, I
she
think.
kind of.
No,
I think.
they had already captured me by that point. So
Yeah, so I mean, they had captured him because they knew he had a bean, and they knew that at least she knew that she could bribe Rumpel with it.
What I don't get is if Rumpel was so set on getting that bean, if he wanted to get his point across, why didn't he just tell her the truth about what happened to Bay? If she knew that her child was lost, I'm sure she would not have had an issue giving up that damn bean.
But she didn't have the issue. I mean, she didn't have any problem giving up the bean. She just wanted Rumpel to let them go.
But she wouldn't have insisted that he come onto the ship and blah, blah, all the crap. She would have just given it to him. Well,
She would have given him
No, she had to make sure he was going to keep his end of the bargain and let them live.
yeah.
Exactly.
Which
Yeah.
he didn't.
Well, of course he didn't, because he's a misogynist asshole.
Okay, so wait,
Cleaning.
related to that, there's like on TV Tropes, there's a page called Moral Event Horizon that's like an act so bad that you can't come back from. And many people, me included, think that Rumpel did it in this episode. That's like killing your ex-wife because
Yes.
she tells you that she doesn't love you. It's like it's something you can never come back from, at least as a romantic lead.
Yes.
So what do you guys
He didn't accidentally kill her. Like, you can say in any way that it was an accident. He wanted to brutally murder her.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
with no,
And the
he
fact that
felt no remorse. I mean, I'm sorry, but that doesn't sit well with me.
I
mean,
want to
he
say.
didn't.
Sorry. I want to
No,
say
go ahead.
that he like some people blame the Dark One within him. No, it's his own freaking selfish way.
No, because he refused her simple request to go somewhere else before she left. I mean, it was all about controlling his wife and keeping their family intact, even though she was miserable. He didn't give a crap about her.
Yeah.
It's true, because if you watched the flow of the argument, he was angry that she had left, but he still could have walked off that ship without doing anything. He was even more angry that she left Bay, but he was still ready to walk off the ship. It wasn't until she got in his face. I'm not laying blame at her feet. I'm just saying it wasn't until she got in his face and said, "I never loved you," that he went off. Because he couldn't stand the fact that, he was made to look like a piece of nothing in front of all of them, and that she could dare to not love him.
He's the Dark One. He's not nothing anymore.
Except he still is.
What pushed him over?
As far as I'm concerned, Killian had every right to keep the bean after that, because the deal was he lets them live and he gets it, but he didn't, so bean's mine, bitch.
And I totally cannot blame Killian for pursuing revenge for 300 years. I mean, the man killed the woman he loved and then maimed him for life. No, sorry. You don't get a free pass for that. I'm glad somebody was trying to hold Rumpel accountable for his various bullshit. He seemed to be the only one.
That's true.
Yeah.
Everyone else feared him But not Hook. Hook didn't care. He was just like, you're gonna die, and if I have to go down to make sure that you die, so be it.
And Rumpel still hasn't paid for what he did. Like, not even his girlfriend left him. She was like,
I
oh,
know.
whatever.
That is the thing that makes me the most bananas about Rumbel. Like, seriously. She found out he murdered her in cold blood, and she doesn't even bat an eye. I'm like, are you serious, woman?
Oh, but he's changed.
This is like what
has a
that
good heart.
sketch show. Look at your life. Look at your choices. What made for? Like, look at your life.
I'm back.
Why?
Am I back? Am I back?
There
Yes.
are two of you, Mai.
Oh, I'm sorry. My family is fucking dicks.
Oh, hope they don't listen to this.
They are all huge Captain's One fans. So they listen every week. So anyway, yeah. Mai, what's your opinion on Belle's reaction to Rumpel?
It's the worst. But seriously, my family is like kind of changed the internet connection right now. I was like, seriously, no respect. No respect.
And then Belle has the gall to stand there and tell Killian he has a rotten heart. I'm like, really?
I know. I was like, seriously.
Belle, you know what? For all of Belle's supposed wisdom or whatever, she actually knows jack about love.
She's really actually stupid.
Because remember, she spouted all that crap to Person about the swan necklace.
No.
And I was like, no.
And they're still using it.
She's
And
not.
they're still trying to say it was a an active duo, but I'm like, no.
No.
She's not. I wouldn't say she's stupid. I would say she's more naive because it's glaringly obvious that she was highly sheltered by her father. So she probably
And she was stuck in prison for a few years.
You have to be naive to fall in love with the Dark One. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I don't think she's really stable after all that time in the, locked up. Who would be?
Yeah.
Well, all I know is that to have the gall to tell him that he has a rotten heart, he probably has. Killian Jones probably had, even at his worst when he was Hook, has probably got the most beautiful heart of anybody on that show, because
And honestly,
everything he does is motivated by love. Absolutely everything.
and we never saw his heart, so I can guarantee you, if we had seen his heart, it would have happened completely black.
No, it wouldn't look like Regina's.
It would have been red with dark spots all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never thought that he was as bad as the haters like to make him out to be.
Because he's not.
Oh, boy.
And come
No,
on, he sucked as a villain. Like, that's the only thing that goes with canon.
This is the thing
This
is the thing I don't understand about the haters. Some of them are like, he was so great as a villain. I'm like, no. He was like the worst villain ever.
He was so bad. Laughingly bad.
I mean, he did shit, but, he still was the worst. Like, Britain is the worst.
What I really can't stand about the haters is the fact that they can't seem to decide what they want him to be.
Oh yes.
First they fucking start going, well, he's not enough of look, he's a villain, he's bad, he's mean, but then he goes and he falls in love with Emma. Oh, he's too soft. She's made him soft. He needs to be more mean. And then when he tries to do something a little bit, rough, oh, he's mean, he's a villain. What the hell do you want? Jesus, make up your mind.
They don't care. They just care that he's in the way of their ship.
Yeah.
Well, I think their ship is kind of done now.
Oh, I'm not talking about them people. I'm talking about the other people whose ship never was canon and never will be.
Oh my God, those people.
Yes.
Right. If in Comic Con they can honor question like that, I'm gonna scream bloody murder. Bloody murder. They should screen questions before they ask them.
Speaking of Comic-Con, he's got a second panel. He's got a second panel.
Oh my god! Yeah, I love the fact that yes, nobody likes him. Comic-Con puts him in the fan favorites panel with Misha Collins.
I
Misha.
actually don't know if he will end up doing it because it's at the same time as the autograph when there's
No,
the
it's
sign.
after. They said it was after the autographs.
I don't know. I checked
The
the
schedule-
time.
Yeah, the schedule I saw said it was going on during the autograph session.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mm,
The panel starts at noon.
Maybe he can
the
astral
autograph
project.
starts like at 12:15, so I don't think that he would make it.
Yeah, I mean, he could do the panel and skip the autograph. Last year, Robert skipped the autograph, so I mean, I hope he does the panel because it doesn't make any difference to me if he signs autographs,
Yeah.
but
I'd
if he
rather
goes
do
to the panel, yeah,
Honestly,
exactly.
and I kind of want him to be on the fan favorites panel.
Yeah,
Just
I'd
to see
rather.
his face. Like,
Well, that and I want cute pictures
Yeah.
of him and Misha.
yeah, well, yes, but like to see his face when they what to know that he's a fan favorite. I'm like, can you imagine how adorable that must be? And imagine Misha next to Colin. If they sit them next to each other,
Oh God.
when Misha no filter Collins and Colin, I blush at everything Adonis you.
Oh
I'm
Lord.
just looking forward to him and Jen sitting next to each other at Comic-Con finally.
Please,
Yeah.
Jesus. Please.
Well, she
I
can't be
think
around her
I think
parents
the
anymore.
perfect lineup would be Lana, Emily, Robert, Josh. No wait, no. I'm
No,
wrong.
I want them to sit Jen between Josh and Colin.
That's
Yes,
what I was gonna
exactly.
say. Yes, that's what my thing said.
So, I mean, like, I'm not saying the fan favorites is not awesome, but, like, I had a friend who texted me right after she saw the news because she wanted to get his autograph. She's been wanting to get his autograph for years, and now she's, like, I feel bad for her. You know what I mean? Because she went to Comic-Con. She got the tickets so she can go and get autographs from
Well,
him. Yeah. That makes me feel-
yeah, but at the same time, I also want the panel.
Huh? I know. I'm happy for the panel, but she kind of made me feel guilty because she not for him. She still went to like she's going somewhere, some other thing. She's texting me and she's like, "I'm not gonna get his autograph now." I'm like, "Oh."
But
Just totally get it.
it's very few people that get the autographs anyway. It's like a random thing, and not many get it. So it's not probably many people anyway.
Like special, you have to get a pin or something. Last year.
Yeah, when I was there, they gave everyone at the panel like a bracelet, and if there was a symbol on it, you could go to the autograph section. So yeah, it's completely random. They gave everyone posters, though. I got a charming poster. I still have
Eh?
it.
Why not?
Sorry?
I'm gonna get. Why not? That's awesome. But yeah, I wanted to go to Comic Con, man. I lumped out with the waiting line.
It doesn't want to go.
Okay, so
Just,
now that we're done
getting-
with that tangent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Just getting back to the crocodile for a minute. So Mila tells Rumpel that when she was talking to Killian, he told stories about the places he'd been, and she fell in love with him. And I don't think this is just the typical chat-up line. These might have been genuine stories. So I guess for him, maybe being a pirate was just not just a way to rebel against the king, but also maybe an escape. because he's been to a lot of places, and this is why I want more backstory on Killian the Pirate about how he really felt about it.
Yes. I would kill for some pre-Mila piracy flashbacks.
I
like,
want
for real.
any
yes.
pre-book flashbacks. Like, I would really love for them to bring Mila back for flashbacks this year in parallel with his relationship with Emma now that he actually has a romantic relationship with her. And I'd be
yeah,
really happy to
great.
get pre-Mila piracy. Like, if you think about it, the Crocodile is a lot like Tallahassee for Emma because we see the beginning and the end of the Mila relationship. It's really a lot more about, it's a Rumple POV episode. We see the beginning and the end of the Swan Fire relationship in Tallahassee. Like, we
Yeah.
don't know the middle bits. We don't know what their relationship was actually like. And I want it.
Okay, so any last comments about this episode?
It was good.
Yeah, I like it. It's one of my favorites.
It was like a great introduction episode, but it was not about him. It was about Rumple and more about Rumple than anything because it was Rumple finding him. It shows the rivalry, but it was not really about Killian at all. It was basically about Rumple and basically how he killed off his wife. You know,
I try to ignore that. I try to ignore the Rumpleness of it all because I'm so tired of Rumple flashbacks. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah, they're the worst.
Yeah, but I always laugh when somebody makes a crocodile gift set but doesn't put any Killian in it, and it's like, wow.
I mean, he's part of the episode. That's like about the rivalry. But the real introductory episode was probably Good Form.
Yes.
He had the season finale before that with Bay.
Yeah,
That was
that's
probably
why-
his first centric flashback.
Yeah.
But that's his introductory episode. I think was Good Form. It shows how he became a pirate. You know, in that sense.
Okay, so I think we can start talking about the Doctor. Question: How many of you figured out the real identity of Whale before ABC spoiled it in the promo?
I did. I most definitely
I
did.
had a suspicion, but I wasn't confirmed. Like,
When
I was
everybody
between this and something else. I don't remember what the something
Yeah,
else
I don't
was.
remember what it was, but I think I
I
did.
was between maybe this or maybe something else. And then
I
the
remember
promo, and it's like, oh yeah.
I remember people were talking about it, like, oh, like, because someone in Tumblr said, well, that's the director for Frankenstein, and I was like, oh yeah, and that's when it happened.
I wasn't that concerned.
Okay, so what did you think of the episode in general? This was we had Whale, we had Sebastian Stan.
And Sebastian finally wore the hat. That's all I was worried about. I was like, I finally got the Mad Hatter actually wearing the hat. Thank you.
We got the Rumple Whale Jefferson like
Boy band.
group or whatever. Yeah, but they're boy band.
Cover, I love that. The Lost Boys, I think, a little bit. That and
Jefferson's sass was like so amazing.
she didn't
He
say
was so amazing in that episode. It was so good to see him as the Hatter because we hadn't really. We saw him going crazy in Wonderland, and we saw him like pour before Regina stuck him in Wonderland, but we didn't see what he did when he was using the hat.
And the Doctor is also the first time we actually we specifically mention Oz. And
I was just gonna say that.
Looking for the ruby slippers.
I
which
knew
are
I
not
was
ruby.
just going to say that it was the first connection to Oz.
That's great.
And we see Regina, kind of embrace her evil queen black wardrobe-ness.
Can I tell you guys that Lana Maria can play Umbrella, play younger than herself. Great. I don't know
I have a lot easier time believing Lana Parrilla as a younger Regina than I do Jen as a younger Emma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
God, younger Emma was so bad. God, that gift set. That has everyone seen the gift set with the tag?
Yes, I just saw it today.
Oh
And
God!
it makes me want to punch person in the face again.
Because he never got the punch.
Guys, explain the context for
Oh,
people
right.
who aren't on Tumblr, please.
Right, obviously. Oh well, it's a movie. I don't remember what movie that Jen.
It was Urban Legends.
Yeah.
It was Jen's role in Urban Legends from 11 years before Once Upon a Time started, when she actually was 17-ish, and i.e. the age that Emma would have been when she actually got pregnant with Henry, and
It's shocking.
yeah, and what is her name?
Amy Mayfield.
No.
Vicky?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the girl who wrote the commentary underneath the gift set that I can't remember her name.
Vicky Victoria?
Oh, I thought you meant the character from Urban Legends.
No.
Somebody wrote commentary.
Yes, wrote commentary. Basically, this is what she should have looked like at 17, and that if you can look at this young girl and still be okay with the fact that person knocked her up and then shipped her off to prison where she gave birth chained to a bed, then there's something severely wrong with you.
But in nicer terms.
Yes, in nicer terms. But we all know my anti-person bias here.
No, you're biased? Really? I will never count.
Amazing.
That's like saying Robin's my favorite person.
Okay, so other than Will, something else happened important. Someone remind me what happened in this episode?
I have no idea.
The Princess Squad meets Captain Hook.
Kicks his ass.
And the one that
Okay, so what?
Are you guys asking what happened in episode 5?
Yeah. So what was
Yeah.
your first reaction to the meeting between Team
I loved
Princess?
it. I loved it because I was like, Emma was like, he was not buying his shit
No.
1 second.
Nope.
I love the fact that Emma was so clueless until he came along.
I gotta
You
say,
know-
one of my favorite scenes was when they were in the field and the ogre first came, and she goes to draw her gun, and I'm like, really? I get that you're not from this realm, but are you serious? Because that's
Yeah.
gonna come towards you more.
I
And a
love the
bullet
fact that she
that
seemed.
big is not gonna save your life.
I love the fact that she seemed to be the only one who recognized that a one-handed blacksmith is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes.
Mulan said he was.
About it?
Mulan said he was in that
Yeah.
camp for months, and nobody sniffed out that
Nobody-
the one-handed blacksmith was not who he said he was. Really?
And he's not that good as an actor. He's actually a really bad actor.
Also,
Is everybody in the Enchanted Forest very gullible?
Probably.
he had Lancelot vouching for him. Lancelot would have taken him in because Lancelot was actually Cora.
Yes.
Like, she
Lancelot
would have
was
helped him
Cora.
out there with his cover story.
Which was a lame cover story.
Yes, it was lame.
Yeah.
So,
But-
Seriously.
but-
You could have done something more interesting.
But
Why
let's
Blacksmith out of all of it?
But let's be honest. When he's sitting there at that table and Emma hands him the water, and then she's like, you know, I have this little thing that I happen to know when people are lying to me, and she's all like leaning close to him. Tell me we're not all like, oh yeah,
Right.
this is on.
I don't know.
And I'm sorry, but the guy didn't even think of the rings or the earring. Like, he was in full pirate makeup. Like, how can you believe that's a blacksmith?
Talk about the
eyeliner in that episode. The use of it with all the guys.
Yes. It was awesome.
Jefferson and Hook. I mean, I don't
And
think
Whale.
The whale.
Well, I said Whale. I did say Whale. I said Whale.
No,
Well, Victor Frankenstein, anyway.
Yeah. And, like, the fact that, I don't know, they didn't put eyeliner on Hook at all. I mean, you could tell it was kind of little unnatural.
Honestly, I think one of my favorite scenes had to be before she met Hook, when they were at the camp and they were sitting there eating. Well, first of all, when she was introduced to him and she realized who he was, she was like, "Lancelot, really? Seriously?" And then when the look on her face when she found out that it was not like cow, it was something else. Poor thing.
But let's be honest. Okay, so then she has the knife to his throat, which was awesome. And then then he tied him to a tree, and finally, after threatening him with ogres, he tells them who he is. And then let's note that he said his real name first. He said my name is Killian Jones. But people tend to call me by my more colorful moniker, Hook.
Captain.
And she's like, I think Captain Hook. That is my favorite.
I love that because you can totally see the cartoon Hook going over in her head.
Oh yeah, you can see the cartoon Hook like flashing before her eyes, and she's like, Disney got this so wrong.
Very wrong.
Gift set. The $10 no gift set now. It's at the episode.
What was even more obvious was when she had that knife to his throat and was threatening to let the ogres make him dinner. You'd think that any other guy would have been, scared and like about to piss his pants. He was turned on.
He was turned on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He looked so turned on. That entire episode, he just looked turned on.
He was impressed.
Oh yeah.
And
He bested me.
Can we talk about how my theory that I share the headcanon that he did have weird dreams of a blonde that kissed him, and then the mysterious blonde suddenly appears and he gets this struck look on his face when he first sees her face. Like you can see like the dream of wench Emma in his head. Like, wait, what? Is this woman real? And then she pulls a knife to him and she's like, I am seriously turned on by this.
When she grabbed his hair, that was the funniest thing. She just grabs his hair, and he's like, oh. He was turned on.
And did Snow recognize the Hook?
Well,
Oh,
Snow knew, like, she had heard of Captain Hook. Like, he had a reputation, which we now know because he had been in the Enchanted Forest for a couple years before the curse hit.
also, as Mary Margaret, she would know the story of Peter Pan.
This
Just
is
like
also
Dave
true.
knew the story of like the Mad Hatter and Alice in Wonderland, but he didn't actually know the Mad Hatter or hadn't been to Wonderland,
Right.
But with the timeline change, she actually talked to him, like, he was in the dark, but she saw the Hook. She didn't actually see him.
Yeah.
You didn't
Oh,
know
what
that
do-
when this episode happened.
No,
Yeah,
see,
so what
this is the thing. Their kids are probably somewhere watching and saying, oh, so this is how Mom and Dad met.
Oh
They go back
God.
in time.
Oh God.
Oh.
And Henry's trying to shepherd them and going, yeah, no, don't mess with anything.
Nope. Being the responsible big brother.
So what do you guys think was Emma's first thoughts when she saw what Hook really looked like?
Damn sexy motherfucker.
Disney done fucked up.
I trying to cut me a piece of that.
I think she thought he was going to be so much trouble for her.
Yes.
I'm in the minority when it came to that. I just thought, oh my god, she's okay. With her reaction to seeing Hook the first time, I think she said she's like she was curious and suspicious. Then I thought, okay, she might have checked him out, but Emma, she's not. She doesn't show her emotions like that. She doesn't think that way. She more likely thinks, oh yeah, he's hot, but we're focused on Henry. She was all about Henry the whole time, getting back to him. So that's what I thought. But I wouldn't lie. Emma would check him out. Like,
Come on, she was
she had to have. As soon as he got
totally
those rags.
thinking Henry,
Okay, whoa. As soon as he got that pile of rags off, I guarantee you, girlfriend got a look. Now, you don't have to actually see her get it, but I'm sure she did. She's not blind. Yeah, she's guarded, but she's not blind.
I'm not saying that she's blind. I'm just saying that she's focused on Henry the most. You know what I mean? She's focused
I'm sure she spent a second, like, a spare thought that said, oh my god, this guy's hot.
But but to move this conversation to Tallahassee, I mean, that's kind of what Tallahassee was all about, though. Yes, she's all about getting to Henry, but Hook got to her. Like, he got to her really fast, and it scared the crap out of her.
Well, that's why I think, like, her first reaction would have been, wow, he's going to be trouble.
I just...
from the doctor's perspective, not the Tallahassee. But we're going to move on to that.
Yeah, the great thing about the Doctor is, well, Emma is probably used to ambushing guys like Hook in her job as a bail bondsperson, so it was a return to form for her. Okay, I know what this guy's all about. I know how to deal with him.
Yeah, she certainly knew better. She certainly knew better than everybody else.
Even in the beginning of Tallahassee, the look she gave him, she was like the look she gave him, he said, let's just start fighting, or he was all being big about it, and he just gives him a look, okay, and then she remembers her ex, and that's when it started.
Okay, so this is the episode where Regina starts giving him to her dark side. Did you think it was
the Force?
What did you think of her dark side journey in this episode?
Regina for the Doctor?
Yeah, Regina and the Doctor.
I think it was unfair the way Rumpel treated her.
I'm gonna sound really shallow, but I was just happy to see her.
Frankly, at the end of the day, no matter how much Rumpel manipulated her, Regina has free will, and she chose to give into her darkness. So I really don't feel much sympathy for her at all.
No, I get that, but I actually felt sympathy because there was a chance of I mean, she had a little in her mind saying, you know what, I can't do this, you know? And then, he brought up the fact that, oh, yeah, maybe Daniel can live, and that brought her up the chance to, are you talking about the past or the future? I mean, the present. Because that really changed her perspective altogether. But for this one, I think a little manipulation, Rumpel knew what he was doing, but I still had a little bit.
The only time I felt bad for Regina in the whole episode is when she has to put down Daniel at the end. Because that was rough.
Yeah, it had to be hard.
Okay, so I think we lost Lisa. There's been some problems, technical problems today, if you can believe it. I know it's a surprise. So yeah. So any last comments on this episode? Any last opinions?
Jefferson looked really good.
It was an excellent first meeting for our OTP. That's all I have to say.
I
Yeah,
love
it was great.
the beanstalk scene where they're standing next to each other, and you can tell Hook's not wearing eyeliner, and he looks so radiant, and the lighting were in that scene. Oh my god, they were just so pretty together.
They're always so pretty together.
No, but that moment you can just see that they were going to be a couple in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were standing next to. It was the perfect placement for direction. They were standing next to each other, looking at their adventure together. You know what I mean? It's like the perfect placement to the next episode.
And that shot, they have the beanstalk standing right between them.
Yeah. It was such. I thought as a film perspective, like it was such a perfect idea to show the symbolism where their first adventure is going to happen and where they're going to find each other at themselves, like in connection. They're lost souls together, and they'll climb that beanstalk to be each other's guidance and equals. It's awesome. I love that thing.
So beautiful.
Oh, I cried.
So that's my end opinion.
Okay, so any other comments on the episode?
On which one?
Still the Doctor. I think if you don't have any other comments, oh, Lisa is back. Lisa,
Sorry,
do you have...
my laptop was unplugged, so the battery power died. I had to turn it back on again. Sorry.
Okay, so we are just finishing up talking about the Doctor, and since this is already, I think, 1 hour long, I think we can go and talk about Lassie next time, since I'm guessing
yeah.
that will be quite long.
Long in and of itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Doctor was my holy shit moment when I absolutely knew that Emma and Hook were it.
I was just happy that they were interacting. I was like, oh my god, they're interacting.
I know.
One of my crackers.
And then mine, we immediately ran to Tumblr and to check to see if anyone else was freaking out with us.
Yes.
When,
And it was me and Michelle in the tag freaking out.
when he
And there was like nobody else. And I was like, oh shit.
honestly,
Yeah, you were there too, dude.
Blocking everything.
Yeah, well, when we say everything, it was like triples, dude.
honestly,
It was-
he was sitting at that table, and she leaned forward and said to him, "You know, I have this superpower. I can tell when people are lying." And the look on his face when he was staring up at her, it was like fuck struck. I mean, he was done.
I don't think he'd ever met anyone quite like her.
No.
He was intrigued with her from the very beginning.
Like
Oh,
he
yeah.
said in the finale. He was going after her.
Fandom was done. That was it.
Yeah.
It was an introduction of soulmates, and I think the fact that this episode and the fact that everybody says that anyone's true love was met in the Enchanted Forest, that got me. I love that theory. It's just like everybody's true love was met at the Enchanted
Yeah,
Forest.
because where did she mean person? Oh, right. Our world. Crap.
And from the perspective of an Emma fan who had just watched like Lady of the Lake, it was nice to see a change from the Emma who was being like treated like a little kid by Snow and had no idea what she was doing. This was a return of badass Emma, and that's what I liked about it.
It was really somebody who she saw through. Like, okay, this is it. Okay, I'm just gonna deal with him and treat him like what I do with my own time.
Yeah, it put her in a situation that she already knew, as opposed to one that Snow didn't know much about at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
because it was her world. Because she's used to guys like that, and she knows how to deal with them, and he liked it.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Especially when she grabbed his hair and pulled his head back and put the knife.
Talking about
It was like,
was so funny. I love that part where he's like, his golf and everything is so hilarious.
Hey, can we talk about how gullible the rest of them were? He was like, "Oh, I am just a blacksmith. I am not again."
See, and that is why the Hook Aurora thing never made sense, because she was just like clueless to the extreme. And I'm like, really? She cannot handle that man. She just can handle him.
Aurora
No,
was
but
like,
Emma could.
maybe he's telling the truth, and Emma doesn't even turn around to look at him. He just keeps walking. He's not.
She knew who he was, basically. Like, she just knew it because she's seen it, and she's really seen it within herself that, like, okay, she saw herself in him in a way, you know what I mean? Because sometimes there's fault, but yeah, I thought Emma kind of saw herself in him in a way, and then all those guys that she had to deal with as a bill sponsor.
I mean,
Speaking
did they not notice that after that table scene when they got up and they went to go towards the beanstalk, that any conversation except for maybe a minute or two with Snow between Hook and anybody else in their group ceased? Like, nobody else in that group mattered but her after that talk.
Yeah. He was like, "Hi, I'm a puppy. Can you love me? Can you love me? Can you love me? Hi, I love you."
When they stood there on that ridge and they were looking out at the beanstalk and he looked over at her and she looked over at him, I was like, oh, that's it.
That scene, I was just talking about it. It's so pretty. The lighting, the fact that he was not wearing eyeliner at all. You can tell, and he was just, the light in his eyes was twinkling, and I love the symbolism of that scene. It's one of my favorites. The beanstalk in the middle, someone said, and it's just the start of their adventure. Oh, Tallahassee.
I think it was probably the first time he felt anything in probably 300 years.
Anything? Well, it's the first time he's felt anything other than hatred since Bay left the Jolly Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That person.
And he looks at her like she's the best thing in the world. When they're looking at the beanstalk and he's looking at her and not at nobody else.
That person right there, that was not Hook. That was Killian Jones. Straight up.
Yep.
The entire Tallahassee is Killian Jones until the end.
Yes, which we will talk about next week.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Looking forward to it.
next week there's also gonna be filming in Sandstone in Storybrooke, so we may have pics and filming reports and lots of spoilers. So we'll probably talk about that too.
Yes.
I'm gonna cover my ears for conversation. That's not fair.
Okay. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we get, for us, a spoiler addicted, we get something good. So thank you everyone for listening, and we'll be back next week. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.